Hello, everyone. My name is Manoj Leelanivas. I'm the Chief Product Officer at Juniper Networks. And today joining me is Ravi Amananganti, Vice President General Manager of IBM Hybrid Cloud Network. Ravi, welcome and delighted to have you to join us today.
Manoj, very nice to be with you, and thanks a lot for the opportunity to speak with you.
So, fresh from the press, so as to speak, right? IBM is the first company to announce an industry cloud, financial services, and you made a joint announcement with Bank of America. Juniper is super proud to partner with IBM Cloud. So tell us more about IBM's cloud offerings and what you're offering to customers around the world, Ravi.
Manoj, thank you. I think first of all, it's a great announcement that we made yesterday. The partnership has been more than 12 months long, and we are all excited at IBM Cloud, and hopefully it's exciting for our partners and customers as well. And kind of just taking a look back in terms of what IBM Cloud brings to the customers, partners, and people who kind of work with us very closely is we are kind of looking at ourselves as kind of catching up with the rest of the cloud space. There is no way we can say we have been the first one, and the market has been set for us. So we have to find really a different means to make a place for ourselves. And in order to do that, it took quite a bit of an effort in terms of understanding what is that we are trying to serve. So we did a research on most of the enterprise clients on what problems are they trying to solve for their customers. What is that they're trying to kind of bring to the market? How is that they're competing? And what trends are they following? And how can we make a name for ourselves in their journey? And when we looked at that, there were three problems that every enterprise is kind of faced with. They have got this pressure from the board that they need to migrate to cloud. And obviously, this is there everywhere. Second, they need to compete in their sector, whichever vertical that they're participating, and they have to always make sure they're kind of getting their digital transformation done and reduce the cost of the operations, because pretty much everything they need to digitize in order to compete. And the third, they have to bring the teams, people along with them, because it's kind of changing the way people work, especially with the way people are kind of becoming. Their jobs are digitized, their processes are digitized, and the people have almost been kind of trying to deal with so many technical transformations. And these are the three things when they get kind of thrown at them, and they always kind of come to the vendors asking for how can you solve them for us. And when we look at IBM Cloud, we have kind of said, where can we help? And here is where we have kind of built IBM Cloud. Right now, we've got around 190 plus as a service offerings, and that can kind of span across IaaS, PaaS, and SaaS. And most of them are about providing these five value props. One is about how do you kind of really help the customer on their application modernization. Everybody is in the mode of application modernization. Most of them have applications kind of in the 50% of their custom apps. They've got 35% in a pre-packaged apps and 15% maybe in the cloud. Now, you can wonder why rest of the 85% is not in the cloud. And this is the reason. And they've quoted, obviously, I'm just kind of talking about what customers told us, that they are worried about data governance. They're worried about security. They're worried about really losing control of their data. And that's one of the biggest concern. And the second, they really know the cloud journey is not a one size fits all. So they always talk about multi-cloud approach, because they want to kind of make sure they're managing their cloud journey very carefully, because they do not have all cloud native applications. So that journey has to be clearly moderated. And the third, about while doing it, they have to really, really meet the governance and security and compliance postures and regulations in each country, because that's something that they have to do. Otherwise, they will not be able to compete effectively. And the last, which is a talent, people, can they kind of try to have the skills in order to do all this? So IBM Cloud really brings these things to the forefront, and we have really picked our niche in about going about regulated industries, because that's one thing that we thought was the hardest problem to solve. And IBM has got a great brand with most of these financial, insurers, healthcare, manufacturing. So we believe that is the best place to start. And we wanted to kind of really use that as an opportunity and build everything around it. And that's where we are talking about bringing AI to the market. That's where we are talking about bringing quantum computing to the market. So you can think about those are the value props, but really 190 services that we offer to the customers.
Ravi, you covered a lot of ground there. I mean, you covered the business outcomes you're driving with your customers. you talked about digital transformation, and then you talked about people, taking people forward, right? Three different topics in depth you covered, right? So when I talk to CIOs, if it was a year ago, pre-COVID, people were thinking in terms of digital transformation and a journey for 3 years, right? Post-COVID, the journey has become a 3-month or a 6-month exercise for digital transformation, right? It's a big shift. And data is continuing to explode, new services are coming online. And from an IBM perspective, especially post-COVID, I'm pretty sure that, you built a, pretty scalable network, over multiple data centers, 60 data centers across 18 regional zones. What's your strategy? What's IBM Cloud strategy to keep up with this tremendous growth driven by COVID and all these new applications and services coming on board?
Thank you, Manoj. I think that question is timely, mainly because of the environment that we are all around. Just imagine the way we are kind of talking to each other now from homes, right? And this is something that I would have never expected, especially for a global cloud summit or maybe a customer summit. I would be in a studio with you, right? And this itself is an extraordinary thing. But when I think about digital transformation, this journey has been on even before COVID hit us. COVID just kind of transformed that and accelerated the journey. And I think, in my opinion, what it really did is data has been growing significantly for the last 5 years and maybe even more. But just in the last 1 year, it has probably grown even tremendously because of this digital transformation that has accelerated. But when I look at that, what I really kind of honed in on is not only data is exploding, but it is structured data, it is unstructured data, but the data silos it has created because of people's approach for multi-cloud, because the data is not in one location, right? And because it is kind of distributed. And this is where really IBM's strategy fits in straight there, because we were always kind of being the champion of multi-cloud. We've always wanted to kind of go after this place where we know for sure it's not one size fits all. It's always multi-cloud. How do you really support that coverage? How do you provide the infrastructure across the globe where we kind of built our network, our data centers, where they are closest to the customer, and provide the infrastructure, our VPC platform, or all the services that we have, 190 plus services, make them available to the customers in that region. And every year we kind of tend to add close to 12 data centers that kind of covers, almost 3 to 4 regions. And we try to also bring very small footprints in the edge, because we don't want to kind of build data centers everywhere. We want to use these edge locations to bring the customer back into our cloud, but really kind of be the bridge to every other cloud that they want to participate with. And the last one is, how do we kind of really infuse this? We kind of talk about Cloud Pak for Data. This is a software that we have. This is AI everywhere. And what it does is it really kind of simplifies and automates how we collect data, organize the data, and process data, and infuse AI to really bring insights for the enterprise that they can be using them for their business outcomes. But in order to do that, we needed to have a couple of technologies. So Red Hat is something that we have acquired, and it absolutely gave us a great platform, OpenShift. And that OpenShift has a PaaS platform, and we were able to really build this IBM Cloud Data Pak, and that is the software. And we also used another announcement that probably you may have heard a month ago. We talked about IBM Cloud Satellite, and that's about distributing that AI service to wherever the customer needs that, not really kind of give the data, let the data come to the cloud, let the data sit wherever it sits, take the service to where the data sits, and kind of provide that AI, and then kind of really do that in a very secure and provide that trust and compliance for the customer. And this is where we bring confidential computing to the customer. So those are the real 3 elements of our strategy that we use to support the customers on the data explosion, Manoj.
Great. So what I'm hearing from you is that I think there is definitely 2 streams for you, right? One stream is where you're focused on the hybrid cloud, focusing on, from the centralized cloud to the near edge to the far edge. How do you make that hybrid cloud, multi-cloud environment really happen? The second one is, the AI, right? AI-driven, cognitive AI enterprise, right? Where AI doesn't just happen in the cloud, but can happen wherever it needs to be, right? So those are the 2 big sort of efforts, and Red Hat plays into this in a big way. So great to know that. Now, segueing a little bit into Juniper, right? You've heard of Juniper's, direction. Our true north is experience-first networking. And at the end of the day, we want to provide simplified operations for our, customers, and a superior experience to our customers, right? So we've been together as partners in this journey for a while now. What does experience first mean to you for IBM and your customers from a Juniper perspective?
Absolutely. And I think, I'm great to just bring in Juniper into this conversation. We have been partnering with Juniper since this cloud has started with SoftLayer. Way back when I was at Cisco, I was not even at IBM Cloud, but SoftLayer was our customer as well. And we were I was mostly putting Cisco into data center, and Juniper was putting most of their stuff in the data center edge, as well as in the backbone, and also security, which obviously security has been the critical insertion point for Juniper as well. And we really need to scale the network, not only on the backbone, but at the edge of the network, but do it in a way that it really brings that experience and availability to the customer. So absolutely, I do think that we've got a great partnership that we continue to take forward in expanding speeds and feeds, because right now we are running our backbone with a lot of 100 gig. I think very soon I see that growing into 400 gig and even more, and trying to also deliver SLAs on the backbone, and doing that very effectively, and then bring security. As I said, it's all about making sure the data in flight and data in motion, or the data in motion, data at rest, are all managed in a secure way. That's the key value that we bring, and we want to make sure we're partnering with Juniper on that journey. But I do want to take one other point on this particular question. I really want to make sure that we are focused on very, very, industry-focused cloud, which is financial services, because this is the one that has given us that edge in the market. And we want to really use that as a way to establish IBM Cloud as a significant player, and then expand it to other areas. So it's really important for us to stay focused in keeping that journey to drive that outcomes, and then expand out after.
Thank you, Ravi. I think we're delighted with the partnership with IBM too. I think this partnership has been going really well. Now I'm going to segue into a slightly different two-part question. What keeps you up at night? That's one. And number two, for a person who's managing such a complex network, right? You have a poise and you're calm and composed. How do you do that? What's the secret for the audience?
So Manoj, first of all, thank you. I may not be as calm and composed as I look today, but generally the job that I have is a very difficult one. And I think what keeps me at night is, how do I stay as a leader, and how do I provide the motivation to the team, knowing that we are not in the top 3 yet. Right? When I think about the market space, right? We have got a lot of passion to compete. We want to be in the top 3, right? We know that we are not there yet. And in order to get there, we have got a lot of great things going on our end, but keeping the team motivated that we can get there, and keeping the team also know this is practical, this is doable, and this is something that they should believe in, is where I lose most of my sleep. It's not the technology, it's mostly the people, and how do I keep them at ease and focus them to do the job.
Great, Ravi. Thank you so much for your time and insight. It was a pleasure to have you.
Thank you so much, Manoj. And it's been a great opportunity to speak with you today. And whoever is listening to us, this is a great transformation that we're all going through. And I wish everyone the very best on their journeys as well.
Thank you so much, Ravi.
Thank you.